Welcome to Fresh Start. Are you ready for health? We've been talking about how to know your 4 for more. Let's see how much you remember. What does the 0 mean? How about the less than 30? The 30 by 5 or 10,000? And the 5, 2, 1 and almost none. Hopefully you remembered. We're talking about eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, 2 servings of whole grain, and 1 cup of legumes a day, and minimizing those added salts, sugars, fats, and oils, the processed foods, the red and processed meats, and the high-fat dairy. Last time, as we talked about the blue zones, we focused on those animal products, which are high in saturated fat and cholesterol, and talked a bit about the added salt and sugar. How have you been doing? Feel free to email us with any questions or comments and to share your story. We've been encouraging you to eat more on the right. Those fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, those plant-based whole foods, and less on the left, those animal products and processed foods. We've talked about using the traffic light as a guide. Red means stop and reconsider. Eating these foods rarely, if at all, saving those for celebrations. These are foods that contain high levels of saturated fat and cholesterol. Those red and processed meats, that high-fat dairy and cheese, poultry with skin, egg yolks, and the palm and coconut oils, which are high in saturated fat. We also said to be cautious with foods like fish and skinless poultry, which should be prepared without oil, and the low-fat dairy and egg whites. As we pointed out in the blue zones, even these increase our risk of illness. We want to limit these to less than 25% of your plate. We also want you to stop and reconsider those fried foods, the simple sugars and syrups, the sugared beverages, those processed carbs like pastries and cookies and bread and pasta made with refined white flour and sugar, and the trans fats. We did point out that those orange foods are special cases, those condiments. These would be foods that are normally under the red light category, but we're using them cautiously in small quantities. They usually contain salt, sugar, fats, and oils, but we use them in small quantities just to help us better enjoy those plant-based whole foods. Last time we talked about the benefits health-wise of minimizing those animal products. In this module, we want to talk about why it's beneficial. We're going to talk about inflammation. Inflammation is a normal response to injury or invasion in our body. If you cut yourself, it gets red and swollen, you get some pus cells, and then over time it heals. This is a normal acute inflammatory response. However, there are things that cause a chronic smoldering inflammation within our body. It's a similar process, but it continues at a low level, utilizing our body's resources and even wearing us down in the process. Sometimes we can even sense that chronic inflammation in ways such as pain or fatigue, tiredness, weakness, or mental fogginess. The majority of our chronic lifestyle-related diseases that we've been talking about, such as diabetes and cardiovascular disease, cancer, autoimmune disease, and all the others, share the common denominator of chronic inflammation. What causes this chronic inflammation?